Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, currently featuring Steven Universe, Star vs. the Force of Evil, and Rick and Morty, among others. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hey, y'all.
Alex Bonilla.
Hola.
And Ryan Van Voorhis.
Hey there.
Today, Delaney, Alex, Ryan, and I will be giving our top 5 episodes of Rick and Morty so far that have aired pre-resumption of season 3, which we're all anticipating. We are very excited for the resumption of, normally I'd say like the season 3 premiere, but they had to be difficult and air one episode. And so the resumption of season 3, we're very excited here.
And this is Dylan's word of the day, resumption.
Yeah, is resumption even a word?
90%
Yes.
sure, yes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
90%.
Yeah.
Only
I just
90%.
thought of it just now. I'm very proud of myself. Yeah. So
yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we cover Rick and Morty here on the Overly Animated Podcast. You can check us out at overlyanimated.com. To this point, we have only done episode discussions. Delaney and I podcasted on every episode of season 2, like very soon after it aired. That was forever ago. And now we're ramping up for season 3. We're going to have non-episode discussions in anticipation of the resumption of season 3. So we're going to start with a top
And
episode.
because we have bodies now.
Because we have bodies, like the bodies
People to
buried,
talk
like
to.
the bodies buried in the backyard. Is that it?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Except our
They're right
bodies are
here,
warm.
like both of them. It's great.
Yeah. Is alternate Dylan buried in a different podcast? Yeah. Okay. So So we
Helium Dylan.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to be going through our top 5 episodes of Rick and Morty. We're going to have other interesting specific topic discussions as we lead up to the season. Definitely subscribe to us at overlyanimated.com/iTunes if you are also anticipating Rick and Morty and want to hear all of our discussions as it goes. We also have if you're someone that just likes Rick and Morty and doesn't like the kid shows that we discuss, even though you shouldn't because they're cool. But if you just want to subscribe to Rick and Morty, you can check us out at overlyanimated.com. And there's a Rick and Morty specific iTunes feed link. You can just subscribe to that one and just get a Rick and Morty podcast. Either way, we appreciate you checking us out. Our Rick and Morty podcasts are explicit, just like the show we are covering. Although they do bleep out cursing, so whatever. We might curse though on these, but not our kids discussion ones. So
It's our brief freedom. Let us have it.
yeah, exactly. We have some other adult shit, like Mike Tyson Mysteries is being covered, not by this crew, but yeah, that's an interesting one. Okay, so let's get into our top 5 episodes. So I think this is a really interesting topic. Okay, so first of all, I do top episode discussion for like every show. Like, not a surprise that we're doing this, but I think this specifically for Rick and Morty, this is really interesting because I anticipate no consensus best episodes for this show. I think all of Rick and Morty is really good, and I don't even know what most people would say is the best episode. Like, I honestly don't know. Like, I think that when we go through our lists, there will just be a ton of different episodes. I think every single episode of Rick and Morty that aired is good. I recently went through and rewatched the whole series in anticipation for doing more podcasts. I think there's basically what I thought was, I think there's like a upper tier and a lower tier of episodes, but like everything's good and, it's great. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what we're going to get into within the compositions of everyone's lists. I want to note that the episode titles of Rick and Morty are the least descriptive things I have ever seen. So when we're going through our lists, give a sentence description of what episode you are talking about, because random Rick or Morty episode movie pun is not very helpful.
I don't know. They're kind of descriptive.
There's a few of them, like wedding. Okay, good, but like, what does any of them have? There's
the Rick Shank Redemption. Like you
can get some stuff out of that. Yeah.
There's thought behind them, but we need some help on what these might be.
Well, the explanation will come out in how we describe the episodes, what we like about them.
Right. True. So that is also true. But yeah, we shouldn't assume that everyone listening has remembers everything about season 1 immediately. I rewatched season 1 and I didn't remember a lot of it, and it was great. So
and I went through the
descriptions,
all of the synopses because I did not have time to rewatch everything. Like I would love to, and I just don't have the capability yet.
They're functionally equivalent. Doing both those things,
right? They both serve a similar purpose. We still have time before the resumption of season 3, so maybe. But it was an enjoyable rewatch. So here's how I want to go through our lists. We're gonna go twice around the horn through each of us. I want to go everyone's 5, 4, and 3 in one chunk. So give me the episode, what episode, like the description, and then very briefly why you like it, and then if there's comments, we can talk about that. And then so we go through everyone's 5, 4, and 3, and then we'll do another go around of everyone's 2 and 1. Okay, so
no honorable mentions.
We'll do honorable mentions at the end because I believe the honorable mentions will give away a lot of what's not in our lists.
Yeah.
You're changing things up on me.
I did that on a recent ranking one. I don't know if you were on that one, but yeah, I don't.
Obviously not, because I didn't know.
You're shook at my.
I'm shook. You changed it.
I don't know if shook appeals to the Rick and Morty listening demographic here. I don't know if they know what shook means, but yeah, that's
oh, they definitely know.
They just hate it. Yeah. Okay. So let's. So yeah, so also these are our top 5 episodes. I said in the email, whatever you think are the 5 top / best Rick and Morty episodes. Clearly there will be some amount of personal bias and favorite, like what's our favorite. But personally, I attempted to like objectively rank the episodes, but of course there's going to be bias. So, whatever. So it's our top 5 episodes. Delaney, start us off and take us through your 5, then 4, then 3.
Okay, so I haven't decided which one of these was going to be honorable mention, but I'll decide right now. Okay.
Okay.
My 5 is Total Rick-all.
Total Rick-all, season 2, episode 4. Yes, the one with all the alien parasites.
Mr. Poopy Butthole.
And Mr. Poopy Butthole, the most important element. Yeah.
Which is obviously the reason this is number 5 and just on the list, like obviously.
Should be noted, Mr. Poopy Butthole predicted like a year and a half, or what do you say, 20? Yeah, and it's been even.
It was exactly
right. It's like a year and a half. It's gonna be like slightly more for the resumption of the season, but yeah, he was pretty accurate.
Like that's so rude. Yeah. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Anyway,
didn't lie.
Yeah, they were right out. Yeah. So why this episode?
Well, it's just such a funny episode. Also, like. I'm always about the viewing experience, and I love those episodes where, like, and granted, only Rick and Morty can do this, where they're tricking, like, there is no things, and Rick and Morty don't, like, no one knows what's going on, ever, so, like, it's really great having this, and this exact plot device, and going through the episode, and then you're like, I don't know, and then, like, they kill him, like, and they shoot oh god, it's so good. Like, it's just, I love that. And it's just a ridiculous episode, and I just love it. It's just funny, and it's just quality. And then mainly, like, what do you call it? It's the bonus, like, the in credits.
Stinger?
The stinger. Yeah. I can never remember that word. Ever. The stinger for that episode, like, everything about it is just great. Like, it's so funny. Also so iconic. Also, I'm about to cough, but it's just great.
Good info. Yeah. Okay. So you can take a breath. You can cough on mute. And, so we will be interested to see what Delaney's number 4 is. I assume we'll see Total Rick-all again, so we can discuss it later. Delaney, if you're ready, what is your number 4?
Okay. I'm alive again. My number 4 is Me Seeks and Destroys. For obvious reasons.
Me Seeks and Destroy. Yeah, that's a self-explanatory one. The one with Mr. Me Seeks in season 1. Yeah.
Oh my god, I have a plush Mr. Me Seeks. Like, I love Mr. Like, it's just the concept of Mr. Me Seeks is the best. Quite possibly, it might be like the best gag on Rick and Morty. Like, it's definitely up there. It's just so great. Also, like, again, I love things that just. They just call Jerry's, like, incompetence out. Like, it's so good. Like, the entire episode, that's what it's about. It's so good. And, I don't know, it's just so funny. And, again, iconic. And I love Mr. Meeseeks. It's just so funny.
Yeah.
And it's just so, honestly, it's so hard to rank Rick and Morty because, like, every episode is amazing. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not amazing, they're all great.
Yeah, it's a tough rank for sure.
Mr. Meeseeks.
This is Delaney's top 5 anti-Jerry episodes, right?
Yeah, always.
Yeah,
all of them.
Okay,
and that's like every episode, though.
Yeah, that's a tough rank. That's kind of
actually one of them is the ultimate anti-Jerry episode, and Dylan will not be shocked that it's in this.
Okay, interesting. We'll see. What is your number 3?
And my number 3 is, I have to keep like unlocking my phone. The Rick Shank Redemption, because Bye, Jerry.
That is the
Bye.
Okay. That is the most recent episode that has aired, season 3, episode 1. Yes, and the divorce is why it's your number 3.
Not really. The episode's like great. Like, I mean, when I was watching it, like, it's just like it's ridiculous, and I don't know. It's almost like the anti-Rick and Morty episode. Like, we get all this plot, and it's so great. I really wish I wasn't sick right now. This is ridiculous.
It's okay.
I love
you're fine. You're fine.
Everything about this episode is just great. It just the pace of it, and I don't know, like just the stuff Rick does, and then like the final, like we defeat the Federation, and then it's like I finally got rid of Jerry, and I was like yes, and then like I just lost it. Like we're getting a divorce. Like finally, drop him. Bye. Like all of it's great.
Yeah.
It was just fun to watch, and it's just the pacing, which is crazy.
Nice. Yeah. Number 3, a very good spot for the season 3 premiere. So we'll see if it is on other people's lists. Great job, Delaney. We'll come back to you after for your 2 and 1. So I have a top and bottom tier. So far, no episodes from my bottom tier, so I'm not mad yet. One of you will provoke my wrath by ranking a bottom tier episode. We'll see who that is.
It wasn't me. That's so shocked.
Well, we're still on the hook for your 2 and 1.
I mean, not yet.
Yeah, we're still. You're probably gonna put some stupid tie at 2, and I'll get mad. So we'll see.
There is no tie.
Wow.
Spoilers.
I remain untrolled. So good job on that. Yeah. Okay, Alex. Let's get into your 5 to 3.
Okay, I'm pretty sure we're going to start off angering you, but number 5, I have Interdimensional Cable 2.
Tempting fate, yes. That is in my upper tier. You're
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know that most people consider Rich Minutes, the original, to be better than the sequel. Personally, for me, I found that this episode, it has a lot more bits that I remember. The Jan Michael Vincent's, the Adventures of Steely, the little bits, just seeing a bunch of people in like Pop's heads from regular show, and the how this gets made with the plumbus. It's all just so out there, and it's a lot. For some reason, I just feel that it works better than the first one. Also, the B plots, usually they're kind of, at least for me, I don't really care about the Jerry, but for some reason, the whole not wanting to give up the penis, it just somehow works.
That just spoke to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how, especially maybe because he gets shot up in the end, and you have that
yes, I feel that. Yes,
feeling of yes,
100%.
But so yeah, I just feel that both halves work pretty well, and it's just it's the humor just works across the board for me.
Nice, yeah. That is the second improv episode. Interesting to see if season 3 is an improv episode. I definitely don't think it's as good as the season 1 one, but it's great. So very very nice. 5. What is your 4?
My 4 is Anatomy Park.
Okay, wrath provoked, but yes, continue.
Hooray! Well, at least for me, just the whole idea of just parroting, I know that later on they do continue to parody movies, maybe a bit more subtly, but this one just goes full in on parroting Jurassic Park, and I just love it. Xenon Bloom, John Oliver does a perfect job voicing the John Hammond of this adventure. And also just a lot of jokes about the sicknesses inside. The Pirates of the Pancreas, for some reason, it does work that Rick just keeps defending that no matter what.
The original Szechuan sauce, I think, is the Pirates of the Pancreas. Yeah. Yeah,
and making sure that the pirates are rapey. That's always got to make sure that that's worked.
Yeah.
And also, really, our lives are better because we have John Oliver in our life saying, "Would you like to ride the bone train?"
Yeah.
Now with the B plot, the whole having Jerry's parents there, I don't really care because Jerry's parents don't appear again in the rest of the show. But at the end, when Rick just comes in and goes, "Do you guys realize Jesus Christ, our Savior, was born today?" It makes it worth it. But at least it salvages that part of the episode. But the A plot is perfect for me.
Yeah, there's definitely good stuff in Anatomy Park. Even ones I consider to be slightly less good than the upper tier are still really good. Yeah, this is from early season 1, so
totally like Osmosis Jones. And
yeah, it's just so Osmosis Jones. Yeah, which is I love.
Like
Osmosis
who does
Jones,
like
so.
Episodes like that? And as per usual, Rick and Morty takes like that sci-fi concept to absurdity, and it's so good. It's Jurassic Park, like in somebody's like actual body. It's great.
some just random homeless man who we found off the street.
Yeah, that's true. And the giant, yeah, a lot of interesting stuff. I'm still hoping for the return of Annie, who the episode kind of set up a return for Annie at some point. So the blonde girl who Morty's crushing on. So I think that might. I assume we're not doing that.
That describes most of the characters in Rick and Morty. I would just like most of the side characters. Yeah. I just want that established.
There's really not that many Morty crushes. There's like 3. There's a lot actually, but yeah, Annie
okay, if there's any girl in the episode,
that's the purpose. Yeah, Annie's great though. Interesting. Okay, so Anatomy Park, very interesting choice. What is your number 3?
The Ricks must be crazy. So that would be the one where they go into the engine and find several microverses. Oh, okay. Well, Steve, maybe I just have a thing for Daily Show correspondence, but Stephen Colbert is also is also amazing as Zeep. Also, just seeing how Rick just copies Morty's arguments when talking to Zeep. Somebody's gonna get laid. But and also just the B plot is also pretty strong. Just seeing how the ship just keeps getting more and more absurd with trying to handle what Summer wants, even to the point of just letting a jelly baby come out of its thing. So just that also works on both sides for me, and it gets hilarious as it keeps going on.
Yeah. I think Delaney's upset because it's not your 2 or 1, I assume. But yeah. I think we'll see. We'll see. On this is a mystery. But this is definitely considered one of the best episodes of the show. So and Colbert incredible in it. Yeah. So very solid choices there. And we'll get back to your 2 and 1 later. Ryan, let's start to go through your list, starting with your number 5.
All right, and. Number 5 felt like could be any one of a number of episodes because it's just such an it's such a subjective show. But my number 5 is Morty Night Run, the episode where they've got to save the
fart
from a plucky assassin instead of going to bizarro Dave and Buster's.
Yes,
but yeah, just like the concept of the Jerry Marie. Where just all the missing Jerrys go, or all the Jerry daycare. I thought it was so great, and they set up the joke of remember your ticket, or you won't be able to get your Jerry back. And you knew from the moment that they did that they were gonna switch up the Jerrys. But when it finally happens, like at the end of the episode, like that joke still lands. the just confused Jerry of getting swapped around, and. The thing that sells me on this episode is the Roy game.
Yeah.
It's so heartfelt. And it's like watching the first 10 minutes of Up. If right at the end of the 10 minutes, Carl just falls off the house to his death.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely taking that the sci-fi concepts to the extreme, and in applying it to like a really mundane scenario of like Rick just wants to go to Blitz and Shits. So that's my number 5.
Yeah, I'll save my comments for that one. What is your number 4?
And then number 4 is the original improv episode, Rick Minutes.
Rick Minutes, yes, from season 1.
It's like a really good Morty episode in Steven Universe of like it's not trying that hard to it's not pushing any sort of plot or anything. It's them watching television, but taken to the Rick and Morty extreme of it. So like pretty low stakes, but I mean the improv is incredible, and I really like how like the B plot perfectly melded in to the A plot, and like how they're watching them at the end of the two plot lines converging.
Yeah.
And it gives us one of the best quotes I think in the show of the nothing matters, everyone's gonna die, so come watch TV with us, which is just can describe pretty much the entire show.
That's our new That's our new tagline here at Animated. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And even for an episode with no stakes, like it still sort of brings in like a wider plot because it brings up that the bodies are buried in the yard, and still it kind of connects the other episodes together. So yeah, it's number 4. I'm guessing it's going to be.
I'll hold comments in that as well. Yes, number 3.
Number 3 is Rickshaw is the Rick Shank redemption again.
Okay. Yeah.
Repeat exact same spot, and I don't know. I liked it. It is Rick and Morty doing plot, but like it has me excited for season 3 because it proves they're able to do plot while still maintaining the same level of humor, and like it's still the same show, but they're expanding the world, and it brings in great concepts like what is it, the Rick Team 6 or SEAL Team Rick or whatever, however they want to make that fun. And I think all the gags in it like land really well, and I want to see. I want to constantly go back and see more of the whole Rick of the Council of Ricks, and just it's taking the concept of where Rick and Morty like takes a sci-fi concept and then runs with it to its logical extreme. This is it doing it for its own show. Yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah, it takes all of its previous sci-fi concepts that have been established and then kind of like runs them. And it was certainly an interesting effect. High marks so far for the season 3 premiere on 2 of our lists. Good job, Ryan, on those, and we'll see the conclusion of your list in a second. So much like Ryan, my number 5 could have basically been anything. I have an upper tier and a lower tier of episodes, and then I have 4 of that upper tier. I have 4 that stand out. So my 5 could have been any of 10 episodes, but I also selected, much like Ryan, Morty Night Run to be my 5. Good job describing why it's incredible, but I think the biggest thing that stands out is the Roy game, as mentioned, which I think might be my favorite gag in the entire show. It's just such an incredibly like blissful minute when it runs. And it's just an incredible high point. The rest of the episode's A plot is also really good. I like the fart. I love, Crumbopulous Michael. Really great character. And then the B plot.
Rest in peace.
Well, we need to bring him back. Hashtag K Michael kills. And, also the B plot was really strong. A recurring theme of my top tier episodes are ones that have good A and B plots. And, the Jerry daycare is really incredible. We really, really like that one. So number 5, Morty Night Run. Into my top 4. At 4, I have, although I'd like to say any of these 4, to avoid the wrath of Delaney, any of these 4 could have been number 1. Let's just say that. These are all basically the same quality, but at 4, I put The Ricks Must Be Crazy, which is, season 2.
Y'all are all wrong.
As discussed.
All of you.
I guess you have it at 1, but yeah, as discussed by Alex already. It's, other people think this is the best episode of season 2. I disagree. I have one higher that'll be up there, but I really like this one. Colbert is incredible in it. The rivalry with Rick is absolutely incredible. And like I said, the top tier episodes have a great A and B, and this episode might have the strongest B plot of any episode in the show, with the ship taking care of Summer. It's really good, and really funny, and just a great compliment to the A plot, which is just really great as well. So this is just an incredible episode. At 3, I put 60 Minutes. Also as discussed, the season 1 improv episode. I believe this is the funniest episode of Rick and Morty. It's, my 2 and 1 are also there, but, it's really great. I think the season 2 one was also really good, but this one just really stands out to me. I think my favorite, I think this is from season 1, was Anson My Eyes Johnson, who's the best. And just the entire episode, and just the way, the thing that elevates this one is that, It's really, really funny. And then they also just tie it into serious plot stuff with the bee and and then you just make it like very plot relevant at the end. It's really just a remarkable episode of television. It accomplishes crazy, silly humor and then ties in great plot stuff as well. So there's my 5, 4, and 3. So let's circle back around to Delaney and get her 2 and then 1.
Okay, I can kind of breathe. My 2 is The Wedding Squanchers.
Okay, season 2 finale. Yes.
Yes, because, like, one, like, so much stuff happens in this episode, like, it's ridiculous. And then just all of it, like, the wedding, Tammy, and, like, all, like, the heartbreak, all, like, rip bird person. And then, you know, like, and then we get into the plot, like, Rick, you know, gives himself up. We have also the planet, the gags are so funny, like, the sun that never stops screaming. That is, like, so good and ridiculous.
Yeah, love that one. Yeah.
And then, like, that's so good. And then, like, everything's on the cob, and it's like, we have to leave right now. And then, the tiny planet, and just everything. And then also, like, it's so funny, and then we get to the end, and it's like, what are you in for? And Rick's like, everything. And I don't know, it's just so great. Like, it's just, to me, it feels like it's, like, just kind of brings everything that's great about Rick and Morty together. Like, we have, like, this ridiculous, like, humor, and then these, like, just crazy stuff happening. We have the Federation, and then we also have, like, this, like, the plot.
Yeah.
So I really liked it a lot. Also, it was also one of those very, like, there are not a lot of moments where, like, Rick, like, you know, we kind of see, like, there's a change in Rick and, like, that kind of thing. Like, we actually have, like, this, like, redemption kind of in, like, this moment. And then, of course, we get, like, the Rick Shank redemption and, like, you're like, oh, did everything, like, what's really going on here? So, like, I don't know, I just love stuff like that. And that was just in such an unexpected moment. So I was just really, like, I just love it. It's good stuff.
Cool. Yeah, we'll see if on other people's list, certainly a top half episode for me. What is your number 1, Delaney?
No one is shocked. It is, in fact, the Ricks Must Be Crazy.
Yes.
Okay. The main reason this is my number 1 is, like, pure concept. This is my favorite concept that Rick and Morty, like, one, to me, it's like a concept that's honestly, like, unique to Rick and Morty, like, this episode. Like, obviously, pocket universes and stuff's, like, a thing, but, like, the way they did it in this episode is just ridiculous, and it's just so great. And I actually, and so, like, you know, I talked about Wedding Squanchers and, like, everything that's great about Rick and Morty, but, like, to me, Rick's Must Be Crazy is the, like, Rick and Morty takes this concept, takes it to absurdity, and it's, like, incredible. Like, to me, that's what this episode is. Like, this is the embodiment of what they do in Rick and Morty. And, like, it's just so great. It's, like, they keep doing it, and it's not even, like, it doesn't stop being funny. It doesn't, like, and then it gets dark real fast. Like, I just love it. And then when I talk about Rick and Morty to people, I tell them about this episode. I'm like, yeah, so, like, there's this battery, right? And then, like, it's just so great. It's so good. And then, and again, the B-plot, like, the summer and, like, the ship, all of it's just great. I just love it. It's my favorite episode, and I do think it's the absolute best episode of Rick and Morty. It's my favorite. I just think it's so good.
Yeah. I did remember you love this one. So this is
like, for me, it's the concept. Like, that's what, like, just propels it for me. But then also, like, just again, it's hilarious. Like, he's gonna do it, and then he just, like, crashes into the wall, and you're just like, oh my god. Like, it's just great. It's just solid stuff.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that agree with you on that one. So you also all 5 of your episodes in my top half. So good job. This is.
I did not invoke the wrath of Dylan.
No wrath invoke. Yeah, solid list there. Let's see if there's potential agreement.
we will judge the rest.
We'll see if the rest are no. That's not what I was going to say. I was going to say we'll see if other people agree with your number 1. But it's been on 2 of the list. Let's see if it is on Alex's list. Let's get to your 2 and 1, Alex.
Well, my number 2 is Rick Shank Redemption. So, like you guys have already said, just the fact that it combines the humor and the seriousness so well, and it's just a perfect episode. And also, I think I like most of the episodes that don't keep the A plot and B plot separate. And in this case, the B plot, which is Summer and Morty trying to find Rick, it ends very quickly when they just end up with Rick up there in the middle of the episode. So I do enjoy that. And also just seeing Morty just let his dark side out completely to the point of shooting Rick and probably wanting to kill him, just later finding out that it's a fake gun. Also, of course, Beth and Jerry divorce, A+. And
Yes.
and also the stinger at the end, just having Tammy come back and resurrecting the bird person into Phoenix person, and they're just complaining about the name. It's just perfect from beginning to end, that episode.
Yeah, lot of love for the season 3 premiere. We'll see if it makes my 2 or 1. What is your number 1, Alex?
And my number 1 is The Wedding Squanchers.
Wedding Squanchers. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I like that one too, because it almost similarly to Rick Shank Redemption, it keeps both plots together in the same place. We have that Beth and Jerry, Beth trying to get close to his dad's friends, but that ends pretty quickly, so we don't have to deal with that too much. And just the bird person being drunk and just dropping lore into the show at random. Rick giving his normal cynicism, but then at the end, he finally shows that little bit of I'd rather hurt myself than let my family be hurt. It's just it does the same thing that Rick and Morty is so good at. It's just having a lot of humor in your episode, but also just adding a little bit of seriousness to keep Rick to not be just a totally evil character, but actually have at least some layers into him. Nice.
Yeah. Wow. Also a lot of love for the season 2 finale. Very great list, Alex. I'll get some, and you most recently watched the show, so I think that's also very interesting. I'll get takes on season 2 versus season 1 at the end. I'm interested in that, but let's see the conclusion to Ryan's list with his 2 and 1.
All right. So my number 2 is another repeat. It's a Total Recall. I debated on where to put it on my list because rewatching it, I feel like it relies so heavily on that first time watching it, but like the Mr. Poopy Butthole joke lands so well the first time you're watching it that it deserves to be in the number 2 slot just for that. But I think it's taking a bottle episode and taking the one thing about a bottle episode that is normally the reason you do it, that you only have a limited number of characters and a limited number of spaces, and then they go and add like 100 random new character designs, and then all of them with flashbacks and all of them in different scenes, and it kind of undoes the original premise of doing them. So I like that it subverts it in that way, and it's just a great episode. So number 2 is Total Recall, and then my number 1 is Close Rick Counters of the Rick Kind, the introduction to the Confederation of Ricks.
First mention of Close Rick Counters of the Rick Kind, yes, the multiple universes Rick and Morty's introduction in season 1, yes.
Yeah. And I like this episode for a lot of the reasons. I like the season 3 premiere, and that it's taking already like a high concept idea of the show is that there's infinite parallel universes, and then it's taking that a further step of exploring all the implications of that. And if a Rick exists in every universe, then some of them are going to gang up, are going to team up. And I just love the idea that there's Ricks that have decided that their sole job is to like sell Morty insurance, and they break down like the entire society that is built on just Rick existing, and here you really get like actual character development for Rick and Morty and the relationship together, and it's still funny, and I think it's really showing that the show can do plot, and it can take itself to the next level while still being like the great show, like the show that everyone fell in love with it for, and I really hope that we see the evil Morty again, the mastermind Morty, because like the music cue at the end of the episode where they realized that the Rick had been under control of someone else, and the evil Morty just kind of blends into the sea of freed Mortys. Like, it's so well done, and they haven't touched on it since. So that's my number one thing I'm looking forward to in season 3, is if we get more stuff on that.
Yeah, well, very nice selection. I'm really glad that got into one of our lists. That's an excellent episode, and you're right. That's one of the biggest like hanging plot things that hasn't been like the season 3 premiere culminated so many things, but the evil Morty has not come back. So that'll be very interesting if that is a plot thread in season 3. Yeah, great list, Ryan. Definitely, that was an episode. That's one of my favorites. But let me get to my 2 and 1. My number 2 has not been mentioned yet, so that's interesting. There's a few great episodes that haven't been mentioned yet, so I'll mention others in my honorable mention. But my number 2 is Lawnmower Dog, season 1, episode 2, the Inception episode. This is, to those who've listened to our season 2 coverage, this probably isn't a surprise. I think I've mentioned this one a lot, but, I love the Inception episode. I love the, A and B plots. Again, incredibly strong A and incredibly strong B. The B plot is with, Snuffles and the dogs taking over the world, which I love. And the A plot is like even better and going into the dreams of people inside the dreams, including, one of my favorite characters, Scary Terry. Just one of the funniest episodes of the show, one of the most well done episodes of the show, and it was only the second episode. Yeah, I feel very strongly about this one. Really, really do love this. Yes. And my number 1, potentially no surprise to people who've listened before, is Total Recall, season 2, episode 4, which has been talked about several times. The alien parasites inhabiting, Total Recall, not only my favorite episode, Rick and Morty, just one of my favorite episodes of TV ever. I love literally everything about it. I love, obviously, Mr. Poopy Butthole. I love the Tinkles summer, gag, which I mention a lot. The ending with the Mr. Poopy Butthole is like real, is just absolutely incredible. So good. We haven't mentioned Sleepy Gary and, Jerry, which is potentially Jerry's best episode here. And, it's Sleepy Gary, I love literally every minute of this one. I think it's basically on par with my 2 to...
Hashtag bisexual Jerry.
Yes, I mean, confirmed. Yes. Confirmed. So, it's, I love it. I think it's basically on par with my 2 to 4, but, really, a firm number 1 for me. So there you go. I'm interested. We haven't talked about some great ones, so I'm interested in what just missed from each of ours. Delaney, what were your honorable mentions?
Sorry, I was coughing. Had to unmute. Okay. My honorable mentions are, should I just say like both of them?
Sure,
or
yeah,
like say, okay, close encounters of the Rick kind, because it was really hard. Like, it was this one in like Total Recall. Like, I love like the dimensions and like the extra, like the Ricks and the Mortys, like everything that like Ryan said, like that's my favorite. Like, I just love that. It's like evil Doctor Who. Like, it's the best. Like, that's what I love about Rick and Morty. It's like, let's just have, you have all this power, you're super smart, but like you're just a jackass. Like, it's so great. And just the evil Morty, like all of it, it's just so good. And just, Morty insurance, like all of it. It's just, I just love that concept. It's so funny. And like they abduct him, like it's just so good.
Yeah.
I think that's the best, like, of the breakfast scene, like the opening scene. I think that's the best one.
That's the flying saucer shaped pancakes, and then alternate Rick and Morty just like show up and trank everyone, right?
Well, there's like the portal.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah, no, it's just, and like, they're just, like, they all have guns, like, it's just the best, like, it's just, and because usually it has to do with, like, everyone else, and it's like, oh no, this is actually at Rick this time.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah. What was your...
And then, And then I don't understand why this one wasn't mentioned. I think this is like one of the most iconic, like great episodes of Rick and Morty, and it was really hard for me like not to put it on my list because I was like, one, I kind of wanted to troll Dylan, but Get Swifty.
What? Yeah. How is that on your honorable mentions? Come on.
Classic episode. It's so good. Like, it's so dumb. Like, that's one of the things is like, it's a really stupid episode, but like, it's brilliant and it's hilarious. Like, it's so good. Like, iced tea, water tea, like, all of that. Like, all of that's so good. And like, just the giant head saying, "Show me what," like, it's so good. Like, everything about it.
Look,
Ascension Day.
Certainly iconic. I recently saw someone with a Get Swifty hat. I'm like, why? But
oh no, I've seen those. Yeah, no, they exist. Though they're my favorite. Like, it's so funny. Like, I think out of all like the truly stupidly ridiculous, like, that's my favorite one. Like, I love Get Swifty. It's so good.
I will say I have Get Swifty ranked 22nd out of 22. I think this is the worst episode of the show, but it's still good. It's still good though. So I don't think it's like a bad last. I think it's just
so funny.
Last, But I think iced tea is by far the best element of it. Yeah, really good.
Like iced tea, like, it's so good.
Okay. Alex, any honorable mentions?
Yeah, when I was making the list, I actually ended up having 10, so I guess I'll just read my numbers 6 through 10 here.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I'll just read them off, and then you can comment on any ones that stand out. But number 6, Something Ricked This Way Comes. So that's when Summer works for the devil.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Number 7.
And they beat everyone up. That's like the best.
Yes. Yeah. And also that one has the butter passing robot in the opening scene.
Is that the one with the butter passing? Because any episode with the butter passing robot is instantly like iconic. So yeah.
Yeah. So that one I contend is in the running for best opening scene. But also number 7, Big Trouble in Little Sanchez.
Yes, Tiny Rick. And the
also,
backpack, also
and
iconic.
That one I think does have the best ending scene where it's just like the Vampire King is like, wait, he was named Coach Ferratu? Who let this happen?
Yeah, with Alex Hirsch in it. Yeah.
No one's allowed to have a bit anymore. Just John Smith or
Number 8, Lawnmower Dog. I do have a place in my heart for that one. Of course, Where Are My Testicles, Summer?
Yeah.
So good.
Also, number 9, M. Night Shyamalan. I like David Cross as the Sigerian scammer. Rick, Jerry just being stupid and falling for the really bad simulations, and just Rick scatting Baker Street as they go run away from the explosion. And finally, number 10, autoerotic assimilation. Unity. We have Rick trying to commit suicide. It's classic cynical Rick and Morty.
Yes. Interesting 610. You listed like most of my bottom tier, but it's still all good episodes. So autoerotic assimilation. The ending is incredible. It's hard to rank, and the Something Rick at the beginning is incredible. It's hard to factor that in. Anyway.
Well, that's the thing with a lot of Rick and Morty episodes is like, one, they're all great, but then it's like some of them have like moments in them that are just absolutely incredible, but then like the rest of the episode might not be your favorite.
Right, because like these 6 through 10, I like one half of the episode, but I don't like the other. Whereas 1 through 5, the thing they had in common was that I like both plots in them.
That's a good justification. Yeah, I think like autoerotic assimilation has one of the top 5 moments of the series, but I'm not the biggest fan of the rest of it. So yeah, it's hard to incorporate.
Like, every episode's a mixed bag, honestly. Like, it's all good. It's a good bag.
It becomes a top episode when both halves come together.
Yeah. I agree. That was So Ryan, what are your honorable mentions?
Let's see. I felt really bad not putting in the Meeseeks and Destroy just because of how iconic Mr. Meeseeks was. But and another one was A Wrinkle in Time, because it's like a gimmicky episode, but it's such an impressive gimmick of like it's the one where there's like all the alternate timelines, and it's splitting up the screen into smaller and smaller and smaller sections.
And a shout out to Keegan Michael Key and Jordan Peele.
Yeah. the fourth dimensional testicle creature.
Yes.
And I think the M. Night Shyamalan's, I just like any episode where you let Jerry be happy for like 5 minutes, and then everyone just shits on him for being happy and being
so good.
Yeah.
So those are my.
Ruined
That's good
him.
justification. Yeah. I'll give you the rest of my top tier. I'm going to start. This isn't my next on my list, but I'm going to start because there's one incredible episode which has not been mentioned at all yet, which I really needs to be said. Rick Potion number 9. Definitely one of the best episodes of this show. It is the one with the just everything goes to shit it starts with the giving Jessica the love potion, and then we have the Cronenberg dimension, and then we have the burying the body. I don't even remember, but there's so much plot that happens here. Yeah,
everyone dies.
Yeah, and then everyone dies, and then they replace themselves. Iconic episode of this show. Incredible. Like the second half is absolutely incredible. Like this is, this needs to be mentioned with all the best episodes of Rick and Morty. Rick Potion number 9, really, really good. I'll count down from Morty Night Run was my 5. My 6 was Rixie Business, which was the season 1 premiere that also hasn't been the season 1 finale that also hasn't been mentioned. I love the party. I love Abraham Linklater, and this is the bird person introduction. Really strong episode. Also should be mentioned. Close Encounters of the Rick Kind was next. Mentioned Me Seeks and Destroy. Incredible next. Should be noted Me Seeks and Destroy with the questionable sexual assault plot part, which really complicates the ranking. Yeah, so tough one there. Rick Shank Redemption next, which is the season 3 premiere. So, I'm not as high on the season 3 premiere as the rest of you, but I still think it's a top half episode. A Rickland Time. I'm glad, Ryan mentioned that. I love some of the most iconic, animation storyboarding in recent memory in that. Like, it's just, as an animation podcast, definitely really, notable episode. Then I mentioned Rick Potion number 9. Really, really should, I assume there will be complaints for not ranking that higher, but yeah, that's an excellent episode. Then I have Wedding Squanchers and Interdimensional Cable 2, Tempting Fate. So, but yeah, I rewatched it, and really, there's no bad episodes of the show. So that's kind of incredible. Very briefly to close up. So I rewatched the show, and when I was watching season 2, when I was covering it with Delaney, I was like, we're like, yeah, the season's great. It's not iconic season 1 Rick and Morty. Like, the show's not as good as season 1. But I think I was elevating it in my mind a little bit. Like, I rewatched, and I think season 1 and 2 are about the same quality. If you look at my rankings, I think I have about the same number of episodes in the upper tier from season 1 and 2. Season 1 has way more plot. It does more absurd things. But season 2 has some really high quality stuff as well. I don't know. Do you have a take on this right now, Delaney, season 1 verse 2?
Yeah, I actually think, after I was, kind of reviewing things, I would say, I would actually put season 2, maybe a little, a notch higher than season 1. Just looking at, what I enjoyed and, talking about iconic. Honestly, there's so much in season 2, that is just absolutely incredible. I'd say, I don't know, I think the B plot in season 2 kind of, ups the ante a little bit. I don't know, the B plots, in season 2 are kind of up there. I don't know, again, I do think they're very equivalent. There is not a bad episode of Rick and Morty, and, they're all just so great. And I do think, I feel like I was elevating season 1, too. I look back, and I'm so a lot of my favorite episode of, I don't know, I love, just my favorite episodes are, a lot of them are in season 2.
Yeah.
So I think all of it's, great. But I think for me, season 2 is, just slightly, has a little leg up.
Interesting. Alex, you just watched the show for the first time. What's your favorite season?
Yeah, I think I also give the edge to season 2. Like Delaney said, it feels like they were more balanced with how they handled the plots, because just looking through my list as well, I have 3 season 2 episodes, and the only season 1 episode I have, Anatomy Park, I don't care about the B plot at all. So, and then looking through my honorable mentions is where the majority of the season 1 episodes are. So I just feel that season 2, the humor was more present in both sides, or at least it landed on both sides of the episode. So I think there's an edge there, but there are definitely a lot of good episodes in season 1. Definitely.
Interesting. Ryan, what's your take on this?
I think I'm on board of the whole giving the edge to season 2. I think that season 2 has some of the weaker episodes. Season 1 is in general it never gets as bad as something like Good Swifty, which is not a bad episode. But I think season 2 is just a bit more. It fluctuates more. It's a bit more inconsistent, but it hits some higher highs than, or at least as high of the episodes of season 1. So I think I would give the edge to season 2.
Lots of love for season 2. I think it's aged well. I'd give the slight edge to season 1 still, but I think they're basically the same. So pinnacle of quality, and I'm very excited to head into season 3 here of Rick and Morty, which we are eagerly anticipating. Let us know what the resumption of season 3. Let us know what
let us know how many times Dylan has said resumption.
That was the first time in 40 minutes.
Is that like the hashtag?
Hashtag resumption of season 3 is the hashtag, yes. And
hashtag resumption of Dylan saying resumption.
Over under 5.5. Taking bets.
Over, because we keep talking about it. So that's why, yeah.
No, it's just when you say it.
Yeah, resumption. Oh, yeah, over. Now I put it over 5, so that's fine. Okay.
That last one didn't count.
Okay. Give us your top 5 episodes in the comments. Whether you're listening on iTunes, you can go to the overlyanimated.com and click on the article link, and you can give us comments there. You can, if you're listening on YouTube, you can give us comments on YouTube as well. Subscribe if you're listening on YouTube, please. Thank you. And you can also subscribe to us on iTunes, overlyanimated.com. Stick with us for the rest of the lead up to the resumption of season 3 of Rick and Morty. I have some other interesting topics listed here. I would say the next one I intend to do is top 10 minor characters.
God, so
there's
hard.
about 200 characters in the show. Any character that's not the Sanchez family. What are your, I mentioned a lot of them in my episodes, but I that was what stood out to me rewatching. It was all these minor characters. I want to.
God, how am I going to pick? Is it Mr. Poo Butthole or is it Bird
Mr.
Person?
Mr. Poo Butthole and Bird Person are locks for the top 10, but yeah,
right.
I thought you were going to be oh, no, sorry. Sanchez family.
Mr. Poopy Butthole. No,
those are the main characters.
Mr. Poopy Butthole is included in the Sanchez family, as we know from
yes,
as we know from that episode.
I will rescind him. I mean, Bird Person, Law.
Yeah. It's tough to rank Bird Person against stupid minor characters.
I'm gonna bet right now that Dylan will put Tammy in his top 5.
Oh, Tammy's a lock for my 10. Oh, guaranteed. Yeah. Come on. So more on that at some point. But yeah, give us your top 5 episodes in the comments, and subscribe to us for more Rick and Morty content. And when we hit the resumption of season 3, we'll give all of our episode coverage. Check out overlyanimated.com. Consider supporting us at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thank you very much to all of our patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Davon, aka Diamond Day. Thank you, Davon, for continued support. And thanks as always to our patron executive producers, John, Ryan, Steve, and Alex. So check out overlyanimated.com for all of our stuff. Great job, guys. We had some interesting lists. Got through, I think we talked about almost every episode we named. We should, shout outs to Raising Gazorp, which was not mentioned. I'm sorry, Raising Gazorp, and Pilot.
God, Pilot.
I like that episode, and Pilot.
Rough.
The Purge episode.
Look who's purging now, the top of my lower tier, but still didn't get mentioned. And, is that it? I think, is that...
Maybe the pilot. Did anyone mention the pilot?
Pilot. Yeah, Pilot. Those were the 3 I think that weren't. Yeah, so there you go. There's all the episodes. 2022. There you go. So we anticipate Rick Mancing the Stone, and we will see you guys for our next Rick and Morty off-season coverage podcast. Thanks for listening. Bye.
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 Adios.